25th time the Cougars and the Clinton Dragons meet up on the field, and today it's at Citi Field here against the Clinton Dragons. The Cougars coming in winless. Coach, the Dragons coming in winless as well.
Yeah, they've had some tough ball games as well. They're a very talented football team. They just hadn't found a W yet, just like us. So it should make for a pretty good ball game.
I was going over the schedule from maybe 10, 12 years ago, and compared to where we are now, it seems like the competition Friday in and Friday out has just gotten tougher.
There's no doubt about that. I mean, these teams are, week in, week out, or tough opponents, offense, defense, special teams, all three phases of the football game. I mean, they're tough guys. You've got to be almost perfect in all three phases in order to even be in ball games. So, that's something that we're continuing to work on, continuing to progress, and it's one of those things where we just, we gotta keep fighting. So.
Name of the game, right?
That's the name of the game. You're right about that.
The game's on Citi Field here at Clinton. This is an artificial surface now, a turf field, something that when I played, you played, wasn't really very common or much talked about.
No, not really. They had the old AstroTurf, where it didn't have much padding underneath it, and it's one of those things where I never really played on turf till I got into college, so it was one of those things where. It's pretty nice to have, so especially as an old football coach. If you ever lined the field, it's one of those things where you understand, you enjoy the turf, So it's a good deal. I enjoy the turf, practice-wise, things like that. But, it's a little different than back when I played in high school.
Much game adjustment to go maybe back to a grass field here or there?
Not really. I mean, just as far as just like with footing and stuff, it would help. Like if we were going to play on grass, we'd obviously, probably use the practice field a little bit just to kind of get used to it. But there's not really that much adjustment, going in and out, week in, week out. So.
Well, I guess we've had rain this week, kind of a luxury going in Friday night, knowing that not going to be a muddy field for sure.
That's exactly right. It's one of those things where we're just going to, hopefully the rain will hold off for today's practice, and hopefully, the rain will hold off for Friday, so it's a nice atmosphere, and, people will come out and watch.
One thing we did talk about off camera was the muddy field effect. Players don't get a chance to enjoy that or experience that these days much.
No, they don't. That's a different type of football game. But with the turf fields and things like that, they don't get to experience it. But there's good and bad with that situation. But you at least need to get it at least once, I guess, in your lifetime.
Building on last week's game with the Knox West Rebels, a tough opponent here against the Campbell County Cougars. What are some of the takeaways from that game for you with regard to how your team's progressing?
Well, I just think we're progressing in all phases. Offensively, we're moving the ball a little bit better. We got to work on some special teams. We're going to do that, obviously, throughout this week. And one of those things is, defensively, we've been struggling a little bit, but, I think we're getting better and better as we move forward. The guys are taking to what we're trying to instill into them as a program and as, offensive, defense, and the special teams, but we've just got to continue to work.
We've talked about injuries, so not an excuse, but you've had certainly your share this season. Who might not be missing tonight, or maybe who might be showing back up tonight?
There's a few that we should be showing back up. I think Jordan Perkins should be back. There might be a few others. I can't remember off the top of my head, but it's one of those things where we just next man up mentality. I mean, we understand it. We played a lot of, we played a JV game Monday that we got a lot of good reps in for those younger guys, and they got to understand that, they're just one play away, and we're going to continue that mantra as far as that's concerned, because you just never know when, injury hits and things like that. We got to have the next guy up and be ready.
What will folks see from Clinton tonight that you've been watching on film this week, offensively, defensively, and special teams?
Well, I think they're good in all phases. Offensively, the quarterback, that wide receiver, their skill guys are very, very talented. Up front, they're pretty good. Defensively, they're going to move around. They're going to come after us. As far as just looking at the film from earlier games, special teams are going to be very good. It's like you said earlier. It's a tough ball game week in, week out, and you have to be on your P's and Q's on offense, defense, and special teams. So it's going to be a very tough test, and they're a very well coached team.
This is a region game, a little more emphasis on this game tonight, obviously, for both teams coming in still looking for that first region win.
Oh, of course. I know we're both, battling to get that first W, and it's one of those things where we just got to continue to battle, continue to, use those different aspects of the game in order to, maybe, if we get a turnover here, maybe get a score out of it, things like that. We've just got to continue to work, battle, and just, trust the process.
This has always been kind of a rival game for Campbell County. It seems like Clinton has been the team that Campbell County's played so much in all the sports. Are you picking up on that maybe this week from the players in practice about getting ready chance to play Clinton this week?
Just a little bit. I mean, I think they got a little bit more edge to them coming into this week, which is good. It's not hard to get them focused, which is. But I think just with our schedule, that's one they usually circle. So we're excited to play it.
Anything that we might see differently from the Cougars tonight than we've seen the last few weeks?
Not really. I think we're just going to continue to work on little things here and there. Offensively, we've got a few tweaks here and there. Defensively, we'll have a few tweaks, but nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay, Coach, thanks. Have fun. We appreciate your time. We'll see you after the game tonight.
Well, I appreciate it, and go Cougars.
Head coach Taylor Ownbey and the Cougars set to take on the Clinton Dragons tonight here on City Field. Stay connected. The kickoff in just moments on the WLAF Dulles Tire Shop Sports Network.